Get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
Neighborhood hustling. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
Through the years, I'm sure a lot of people made the mistake. I'm in Southern California, seeing places like Compton, underestimating the danger that may lie or lurk in those said areas because the landscape does not indicate the potential danger one might find himself in. Oh, my mama. Napoleon of the Outlaws is sharing with Count Capone allegedly that they was warned about exactly that. Watch out, thinking Compton look pretty, thinking it's a safe city. We gonna see what he got to say about the subject.
Well, I guess people started calling the radio station, giving Biggie death threats.
Yeah. I remember that. You know, I remember that. They'd be like, you got to call online, and he'd be like, man, you better get out of LA. And one thing about LA, you got to take them threats serious. You know what I mean? You got to take them, not LA, anywhere. You got to take you don't just belittle these threats, but I guess they was out there for a while. You know, LA can be deceiving for East Coast cats, you know what I mean? Even for us, when we first started going to LA, I remember we was in Compton one night and we were standing outside and it's like the suburbs. But I remember Trey, one of Suge homies, like, man, y'all bet, we was in front of Suge mother house. He's like, man, y'all better get in this house right now. And any minute, a person to turn that corner with an AK, dumping. Like he said, this is where you at, like that type of environment. We couldn't get it coming from the East Coast because we see like a lawn, they got grass, they got palm trees. So it can be deceiving, but it get active. You understand? So when you get them threats, you got to take it serious.
How much time did you guys spend in Compton?
I used to go back, even after Pac died, I used to spend a good amount of time in Compton because White Deuce, like I said, is one of Suge little homies. And he was like part of the outlaw clique. I used to spend a lot of time at his grandmother's house. And I used to go back and forth sometimes with Heron before he got killed. So I was going, but now I know the threat. At that point, I kind of knew the threat level, even though I didn't know about Heron that, you know, people was looking for him and, you know, trying to kill him. You know what I mean? But I was riding out there a lot because they was living.
Lately, when I be hearing Heron, I be thinking I knew Heron. I didn't know Heron. I knew Hen Dog, rest in peace. Oh, my mama, the homie that drew the death roll over. Not Heron. I be getting them names mixed up. Rest in peace to both of them, but I didn't know Heron.
Then, you know, I know of Hollywood, so sometime I go to Compton with him. So we were spending some time, but at that point, I knew it get down, so I was being more careful. You know what I mean?
How much time did Tupac spend in Compton?
I don't know. He was going back and forth. It wasn't like, just to be clear, it wasn't like we were just out there hanging in Compton, like just out there hanging and saying we in the hood. Because one, we was out there for work. I don't even think Suge was out in Compton like that. They was going for events. Let's say he going out to get some turkey out or something like that, or give, you know, money to the poor. Like Suge, Pac could go out there with him. But we wasn't just hanging out there like in the middle of the hood, you know what I mean? Just hanging. Like even when I was going back and forth, I go to the homie house and chill with them, but then it's time to go. You understand? We were smart enough to not, you know, I wouldn't even do that in my own hood going back home. I go out there back for some time and get off the block. You know, what's gonna come? What's gonna happen if you out there, you know? Eventually somebody gonna turn that corner, some shooting, or you're gonna get in, you know what I mean? People gotta be wise. So when you got a lot of these new rappers, they trying to prove themselves by going to the hood.
Those that might not realize it, y'all see that on the background, these lines, that grid look like orange with the black lines. That's the same thing I got right here. Same thing providing that for his walls, providing these white squiggly lines for me. I got different designs I could change it to, but it's the same mechanism. Oh, my.
Wrong. We're not saying look down on the hood. You understand? But you should be going to the hood to try to better the hood. Not to go say, look, man, I'm still on the block in my neighborhood. Like, you know what I mean? Most of your haters is from your own community. Unfortunately.
How do you think Tupac, speaking of like you know, how things are today, you know, how do you think Tupac would, what do you think he would think of like today's hip hop and the way things are now?
I don't even know what's going on with today's hip hop. Other than that, other than this, there's just a lot of you know, the music probably took a turn from what from what I'm hearing and understanding is that they promote more drug use. We come from an era we didn't really promote that type of stuff. We look at you as a junkie. We was, you know what I mean? Like
that wasn't nothing but weed and alcohol. I could be your NIGGA, so we can get drunk, smoke all day. It don't matter if you're lonely, baby. You need a loke in your life. And busters ain't stroking you right. East side.
it seemed like they really promoting drug use. So he probably, because Pac had a side of him that he wanted the community to be better. He wanted to better the community, especially the youth. He had that side in him. He just got lost on the way. Like his goal was, I don't want to go too far away from that message that the Black Panther had about better in your community. But I'm not.
Bloods and Crips running up the hill, looking for a better way. My brothers and sisters, it's time to chill, cause even thug niggas pray, hoping God hear me. I entered the game, look how much it changed. I'm no longer innocent, casualties of fame.
Going to be able to do it the way my parents did it because we living in a different time. So that was Pac mindset. But he just got, you know, on his way, just ran into some obstacles that he probably didn't, you know, foresee. You know what I mean?
One thing that I remember back then, man, is like the fans were on Pac's side. Like it like, you know, like people hated Biggie. You know, like the fans hated Biggie. You know, I even interviewed Boosie.
I remember that. Yeah.
And in the interview, he told me, you know, he was a really big Tupac fan. He said he felt like Biggie and Puff were his ops.
You loved Tupac so much that you hated Big and Puff at the time.
Yeah. I felt like they was my ops at the time. You know, because I'm a kid, bro. You know, I know they beefing. I didn't know nothing. All I'm thinking is Puff did it, Big shot. You know, I'm a kid. I'm 13 years old. This a 5-year run of nothing but Tupac. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You know how kids be. Don't be knowing what the be going on. You know, if he don't like you, I don't like you. I don't care who you are. It's a real fan, bro. You know, like the fans get on thing and be
the fans do it today. Just
the Beehives and the Nicki Minaj fans, like, we ain't gotta know what the story is. Don't with him. Don't with her. Like, I'm against you. And that's how it was with Tupac, man. I mean, everybody he disliked, I disliked.
Damn, that's deep.
Yeah. I remember that time. I remember.
I say a lot about Boosie. He be trying to come like he this non-rapper gangster nigga, but he just a regular old kid, bro. Still a kid. Y'all ever catch him on the sideline of the NBA? He's a cheerleader.
You know, in my neighborhood in Irvington, maybe the whole of Newark back then, you can't even play no Biggie songs. And you ain't even, bro, we was breaking CDs and tapes, kicking dudes up the butt. Like, you ain't coming around the block playing no Biggie. Like, we really look at it as a disrespect. I remember that, especially in Jersey. You understand where
shout out to my nigga.
You definitely can't play no Biggie and Pop. And the whole Jersey was with Pop, even though we 30 minutes from New York, Manhattan.
Okay, that's kind of right. So because it would seem like Jersey would have really loved Biggie.
Yeah, but the Jersey we was from at that time, Newark, Irvington.
It was against the grain.
You was a Biggie fan back then. You had to kind of you had to hide it in Jersey. I'm being serious. In the 90s, like you gotta, you know what I mean? You like Jersey. A lot of people don't know was the first on the East Coast. If I'm not mistaken, but they was the first one that started banging, like Bloods, Crips, PIRU, like Jersey. I remember seeing that before, and then years later, you started hearing about these things happening in New York. But I remember Jersey, even from like the Naughty by Nature, like, you know, Tretchenham, they had something called Double I, Inglewood and Illtown, because East Orange, they used to call it Illtown, and they was bringing Bloods out there, like, you know. So we had gangbanging in Jersey before I seen it in other parts of the East Coast. So for some reason, Jersey, I'm not saying it's a good thing, you know what I mean? for people killing each other over colors, of course, that's not what I'm promoting, but we always been with the West Coast. I don't know what it is now. Like you got hoods, you got Grape Street, and I'm from a city called Irvington, which is next to Newark. Like my neighborhood back in the day was PIRU. My neighborhood, and then across, then across you had another neighborhood where they was called they was like the projects. They just knocked them down. They was the road.
Wasn't from the mob though, huh? I heard that.
Roller 60s. You understand? And then you have roller 60s from LA that used to go there. Then you have Grape Street. You know what I mean? You had these hoods like in Jersey in the 90s. It's crazy.
Dang, that's early too, man. Yeah,
that was early.
I mean, they started to spread. So it spread to that area first.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it came there first, and that's because of, and I believe the love. It has something to do with Pac. You know what I mean? Like really blowing up the West Coast.
Outlaws, y'all was low key claiming my PIRU too. Then, if you can't get it from Compton, bring it to New Jersey, and everybody do it, and y'all not doing it. Y'all was doing it too.
And that point to the East Coast at that, because Pac had that East Coast swag as well, originally from New York. So he kind of like people growing up, we always had a lot of love for the West Coast. I'm not gonna front. Like I had homies that had perm in their hair, and he had switches on his car from my block because of Snoop Dogg.
Really?
Because of Snoop. Like we had a homie, my homie Trax. Shout out to he Haitian American dude. He put switches on his car, and then he used to come outside with a perm. And you know, because of when he first started seeing Snoop. So Jersey, I guess also because you know New York back then had this arrogance. Like if you ain't from New York, you corny. And Jersey, we didn't fit in with New York. We didn't fit in with Philly. We just had our own thing going on.
That shit all
that part of Jersey, I mean.
That's crazy. I would have never thought that New Jersey would have been that influenced by the West Coast, man.
Yeah, it was.
That's kind of wild, man. You know, well, do you know around when that turn happened? Do you know like around what years did that start to happen?
I would say 97, you know, at about 97, 98. Because we used to have homies from Compton come visit our neighborhood and they were shocked. You know what I mean? And I would say about 96, 97 after Pac died, it just started, you know, everybody started getting a MOB tattoo. I remember that because Pac started promoting it. You started seeing that more. And so it was like the late 90s it started.
He said Mob PIRU. He didn't just say MOB. At the end, he said MOB, but he said in Newark or Inglewood, New Jersey, or Irving, New Jersey, whatever place, they was Mob PIRU. And they could tell me Tupac wasn't for PIRU. If you knock it off.
Get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. You know, get you a couple $, man. You're gonna feel different.
Thanks for that hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.